Hey guys, welcome to Fanfic Fanatics. So in today's video we are gonna see, what if Deku had Gojo's power and fell for Fem Shoto? Part 1. Before starting, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are interested in MHA fanfictions. This story is Un Hero Sombrio by Haunterdino. Izuku Midoriya, Inko Midoriya's only son, is a poor soul. If anyone saw them, they'd say they didn't appreciate each other, and they'd be right. Izuku was adopted at age 6 by Inko, who wanted a child so she wouldn't be alone. She saw a white-haired boy with a blindfold and no name, so she decided to adopt him and name him Izuku. Izuku was leaving school when, "Bakugo, fight me, you damn blind man," he shouted with his henchman by his side. "Izuku, that's all you ever say. Shine, I'm the best, I'll be number one," he said, mockingly imitating him. He started walking home, but then Bakugo lunged at him, trying to land a blow. Izuku dodged and used himself behind Bakugo to grab his arm and punch him with his outstretched arm, sending him flying into some trash cans. "Izuku Largens OC no," he said, bumping his fist against his palm. Well, because today the class found out that he wanted to go to UA, making Bakugo furious because he wanted to be the only one, so he wanted to show who was the best. Poor guy. Izuku was walking along with his arms outstretched, very happy. People saw the boy's happiness, making several laugh at how childish he looked. Izuku walked for a while until he passed under a bridge where he didn't notice a booger coming out of a sewer. Booger, a medium-sized costume. He said he was about to launch himself at Izuku, but he missed by centimeters. "Izuku, it seems you don't have a solid body, so reverse rotation, red glow." The impact caused the mucus to burst, spreading throughout the tunnel. "Everything is all right now, blowing the manhole cover off because I'm already here. I don't quite understand why." Izuku seems so calm. "Izuku, hello. All Might, hello young man, haven't you seen a villain made of mud?" "Izuku, you're talking about this one," he said, holding the villain in his hand. "All Might, yes, young man." "Izuku, okay, here you go," giving him the bottle. "All Might, thank you, young man, I'll be going now," putting the bottles in his pocket. "Izuku, his pocket is torn," pointing. "All Might, thanks again, young man." Retreating with the villain in hand, "That boy wasn't surprised to see me." "Izuku, well, let's keep walking home." Walking back home, Izuku was walking towards UA because today was the day of the tests, so when he arrived he was with his hands in his pockets entering the facilities when, "Bakugo, get out of the way, you damn blind man," he yelled at Izuku, but Izuku just ignored him, making him annoyed, but he didn't care. He continued taking the written exam, and when he finished, he walked to a stage where the presenter was the hero present Mike. Izuku fell asleep during the entire explanation and stayed there until everyone left. Understanding, a black-haired woman said, moving Izuku. "Izuku, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. The exam is about to begin." "Izuku, oh, thank you." The black-haired girl left without saying anything else, so Izuku did some stretches to see which area he was assigned and walked so there was a bus ride. Later he was in front of a city doing some exercises while listening. "Chico 1, look, we have one less." "Chico 2, he thinks the blind man can do it." "Girl 1, perhaps he's ugly, that's why he hides his face." "Girl 2, that's right, friend." That and other things were said about him, but when he was about to say something, he saw the doors open, so he went into the city at great speed, surprising the other participants and even bothering them. "Chico 2, that's cheating." "Chico 3, they haven't let us out yet." "Speaker, they think the villains are doing nothing but waiting. Let's go." The other participants immediately ran out into the city only to find a wreck of robots. "Izuku, with this I will break the Bomberman's pride," he thought as he smashed a 3-point robot. A few minutes passed, during which Izuku had almost 100 points. Meanwhile, in a room where the professionals who worked at UA were gathered. "Nezu, how was this year's harvest?" said, taking a sip of tea. "All Might, they look very promising," he said, looking at the screens. "You can, young Kirishima. Nezu, someone who is of your interest. Midnight, the girl who can make things fly. Smentos, the explosion-prone kid just needs to change his personality. Vlad King, the redhead who makes her hands look bigger. Aizawa, the one with his eyes covered, hasn't used his quirk since it started. This surprised his coworkers who saw a white-haired man with a purple blindfold and a full purple suit. Midnight, it's definitely a physical increase. Ectoplasm, what is his quirk about? Nezu, let me check. He said to look it up on a tablet. Name, Izuku Midoriya. Quirk, what do you care about? Midnight, huh? Nezu, he seems to be discreet about his quirk, or he hasn't gone to change his report, he said with a drop of sweat upon seeing the last update, which was 8 years ago. Vlad, it's about time, it won't be long now. Nezu, true, he said that a confirmation was provided by a communicator. In the city, Izuku was finishing off a group of robots he encountered. Izuku, I thought they could last longer, huh? Then the ground began to shake, and Izuku climbed to the top of a building to see a huge robot the size of the building, while the other participants fled. Izuku and they want to be heroes. Watching the others flee. Oh. At that moment, the robot noticed Izuku and crushed him with its gigantic arm, slamming it against the building and frightening everyone present. When the dust settled, Izuku could be seen perched on top of the robot's hand. Izuku, you'll hurt someone, so raising a finger, reverse rotation, red glow. The small bump that formed on his finger caused the robot's head to disappear and it fell, rendering it inoperable, allowing Izuku to descend unharmed. Izuku, I'm leaving, he said as he walked towards the exit, leaving both participants and professionals in shock at the display of power Izuku had given. A week later, Inken, what have you been up to, darling? Izuku, well, I've been helping the boys with their training, he said to continue eating. Inko, so young and already a master. Izuku, those boys will be great heroes because I trained them, he said proudly. Ink, eggs. So a while passed when Izuku was in his room, which was a normal room. Izuku was lying on his bed without his bandage, half asleep. Ink, Izuku. Izuku, go, he said, putting on some glasses and leaving his room. What's wrong, Mom? Ink arrived showing him the letter. Izuku, let's see, he said to take it and sit in the armchair and open the letter, and a record came out. What? In a hologram, a kind of vagrant was seen. Aizawa Izuku Midoriya, you passed the written exam with 81 points. Izuku, of the limit, he thought, as if watching his mother almost hit him. Aizawa, and in the practical exam you got 163 points, 121 for villains and 42 for rescue. This is your Hero Academy. He said this so that the hologram would turn off. Ink, you did it, she said happily. Izuku, I knew it. The first day of school had arrived, and Izuku was walking towards his classroom in the suit he wore most of the time. But you might be wondering about the UA uniform, so let's go back a few days. Izuku could be seen in an alley wearing his UA uniform. Izuku, I won't use this crap. He said he was going to put the uniform in a trash can and set it on fire with a lighter he had with him, but then his phone rang. Izuku say, Ink son, your uniform hasn't arrived. Do you know why? He said from the other end of the phone. Izuku, no, he said, watching as the fire devoured him. Ink, okay. And that's how that uniform's life ended in that alley. Izuku was walking through the facilities, attracting the attention of several students, as he looked for his classroom. Izuku, I got lost. So Izuku walked for a few minutes until he bumped into a blonde guy. Izuku, excuse me. Present mic, what's happening, dear listener? Izuku, I'm looking for the class A. Present mic, it's the Shota class and he's late. The boy is dead, he thought, follow me. So the blonde boy took Izuku to his classroom and then showed him where his classmates were. Izuku went to the training field where he watched from a nearby tree as the others practiced until they finished. The students were about to leave, but, until what time will you stay there? He said, confusing the students. Izuku, hello, he said, climbing down from the tree. It's class A. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, quote. If it's for class A, then, said the serious man. Izuku, because it's my class, he said calmly. At that moment, Izuku dodged some bandages by jumping back. Who do you think you are to skip my class? He said seriously, his eyes glowing red. Izuku, I'm the strongest. That made several students angry. Bakugo, you damn blind man, you think you're better than me? He said, lunging at Izuku, but was stopped by some bandages. Izuku, I don't believe it, looking directly at Bakugo. I am. Bakugo, calm down or I'll expel you. And you, boy, what's your name? He said this to release Bakugo, who reluctantly left. Izuku Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya was first in the exam. This test was to see his quirk, but he skipped it. I was thinking while looking at a tablet. Tell me why you were late. Izuku, I got lost. He said it so that everyone would sweat a little. Give me one reason why I shouldn't expel you. Izuku, I honestly don't care if he expels me, he said, surprising the class. Damn, if I expel him, Nezu won't pay me for the rest of the time I have to keep working here, he thought. Kid, since we don't have much time, it's a fight between you and me. If you win, you stay. If you lose, I'll kick you out. Izuku understood. Professor, you shouldn't argue with someone who is disabled, said a boy while moving his arm like a robot. No, say Prio. Guag, I didn't finish because of a punch to the stomach from Izuku that lifted me up a little. Izuku, don't get distracted, he smiled as he kicked him, sending him crashing into a tree and knocking him out. All Might, who was that boy? He thought in surprise, watching the scene from afar. The students were surprised. A boy had effortlessly defeated a pro hero, but they snapped out of their shock when they heard applause from Izuku. Izuku, that he told them to do, sir. ? Aizawa-sensei said we should go back to the classroom, said a black-haired woman. Izuku, his name is Aizawa, he thought, well, I'm leaving. So Izuku left while some students took their sensei to the infirmary while the others returned to their classroom, and Bakugo only had in mind killing the damn blind man. When they arrived they didn't see Izuku anywhere. Meanwhile, in the thoughts of a bicolored girl. Who are you, Midoriya? She thought it would be the bicolor. The day after the tests, everything was normal, like a school where Izuku mostly acted silly, like Hanzo in the afternoon when they had hero training. All Might, I'm entering like a normal person, he said, entering in a bizarre way through the door, exciting most of the students. Izuku, that's weird even for me, he thought, bored. He couldn't believe it was All Might, said a blonde man. That suit looks ancient, doesn't it? Said a green-haired girl. That retro thing gives me the creeps, said a blonde guy with a ponytail. All Might implement basic hero training here. You will practice the basic knowledge of how to be heroes. This will be your subject with the most hours. Let's begin now. Today we will start with combat training. Pulling out a card that said combat. Bakugo training. Izuku, finally, some action, said. All Might, to do this they need this so that briefcases would come out of the walls. The costumes based on your quirks, the requests you sent before starting were for these. After you change, go to the beta field, receiving a yes from the majority. After All Might left the classroom, the students grabbed their briefcases to go change. Meanwhile, Izuku was one of the last to leave, but he walked in the opposite direction from his classmates, being noticed by a purple-haired boy. Midoriya, the changing rooms are on the other side, his colleagues were aiming. Izuku, I'll go get something to drink, he said as he continued on his way. And your suit? Izuku, I don't need it. The boy was puzzled by his teammates' behavior but went to the locker room, on the beta field. All Might, they say the suit makes the hero. Young people, keep that in mind because from now on you are heroes. He said this so the class could come out in their respective costumes. They look fantastic, so let's begin, apprentice heroes. Weeks before classes start, Izuku, I need to send a sketch of my suit. Reading a piece of paper, I have to go to the town hall to update my quirk, he said, as he lay down on the sofa in his home. Something came to his mind, and if I don't send anything, I don't have to go to the town hall. You're a genius, Izuku. All Might had already explained the exercises. Echo the teams. Stay Midoriya, said a chestnut-haired girl looking for her teammate. At that moment, everyone went back to look for the person in question, but they couldn't see him anywhere. Even All Might was surprised that he hadn't noticed the absence of one of his students. Izuku, sorry for the delay entering the city. I ran into a girl who was asking a lot of questions. He said he wanted to get to his colleagues. He doesn't do harm, referring to a two-toned one that had half of its body frozen. Midoriya, isn't that the clothing you were wearing? Said a robot. Izuku and robots, tilting his head. I am Lita from the Sume Private Academy. All Might, leaving aside the young Midoriya's outfit. Let's begin with the training. The first to face off will be between taking one sphere out of two boxes, A and D. A will be the heroes and D the villains. Everyone else go to the monitor room. Everyone else left while Bakugo glared angrily at Izuku, who didn't seem to care, making him even angrier. All Might villains, enter first and prepare yourselves. In 5 minutes the heroes will enter and the battle will begin. He said in the building as the villains entered. Young Bakugo arresting them. Think from a villain's perspective, strive, and don't be afraid to get hurt. Lita and All Might, I will stop them if there is danger. Lita and while Bakugo glared at Izuku, who was staring at his phone without caring about anything, on one of the floors of the building where there was a fake bomb. Lita, even though it's an exercise, I don't like acting like a villain. We have to protect this. Hit the bomb, it's made of papier-mâché. Yeah, Bakugo, you seem to know Midoriya. Do you know what his quirk is about? Receives no response. Bakugo. Bakugo, it is, she repeated in her mind. Lita, so I'm alone. I know he has great speed and amazing brute strength. I'm lost. Below. It will be very difficult to memorize everything. Reading the building plans, it's too much, you know. All Might looks just like he does on TV. We can relax. Turning to look at Izuku. You're not relaxing too much. Watching as Izuku looked at his phone lying on the floor. Aren't you worried? Izuku, why should I worry? Lifting and raising his phone. Because we'll be fighting 2 teammates who are stronger. Izuku, it's Ochako Uraraka. Izuku, okay Uraraka. Well, don't worry, you know why she only denied it. Why did you have to team up with the strongest one? Uraraka, I thought you were going to say All Might's line. Speaker, let combat training begin. He was the voice of All Might. One by one of the indoor teams A and D. Izuku, let's go, he said, starting to walk to the building's entrance with his hands in his pockets. Uraraka SC following him. Izuku was walking calmly without a care in the world when, on the 2nd floor, he saw Bakugo appear and try to blow Izuku up, but Izuku punched him first, making him fall back. Bakugo, damned blind man, she said with pain. In the observation room, a surprise attack, said the purple-haired guy. Yes, but it seems it didn't turn out so well, Jero, said the green-haired girl. All Might, although young Midoriya lacks sight, his other senses are amazing. Look, he's going for it, a blonde guy said. In the building, Bakugo went against Izuku, but Izuku dodged him masterfully. Bakugo, stop moving, you damn blind man. Izuku, Uraraka dodging another explosion advance. Uraraka, you're sure? Izuku, don't worry, I'm stronger. Uraraka, luck moving away. Izuku continued dodging Bakugo's explosions with a smile until Bakugo got fed up. Bakugo, you're just playing with me. Izuku, that's true. Bakugo, do you know what my quirk is? Izuku, I heard your bootlickers talking about him, but I never cared. He knows about someone weaker than me. Bakugo, you damned blind man, I'll blow you to bits, using his gauntlet. Speaker, young Bakugo tries to kill him, said All Might's voice. Bakugo, he'll be fine as long as he keeps moving, removing the lock from his gauntlet. When I released the safety on the gloves, a huge explosion shook the entire building, but Izuku didn't even move. When the smoke cleared from the site of the explosion, there was no trace of anyone. Speaker, young Midoriya, are you all right? All Might said, worried. Bakugo, damn blind man, he said, frightened, when he couldn't see anything, and then he received a blow to the back of his neck. When it moved, from Izuku. Izuku, who thought of giving a monkey a bazooka. He said, holding the unconscious Bakugo by the neck. Speaker, are you all right, young Midoriya? He said this to receive a thumbs up from Izuku. Uraraka, Midoriya, what was that? He was saying through the communicator. Izuku, nothing important. I'm going there. Which floor is it? Uraraka, I need a little help with the 5th one quickly. Izuku understood. On the 5th floor. Lita, Bakugo. Bakugo, what was that? He said, trying to communicate. Uraraka, this is my chance, running to the pump. Lita, I won't allow it, running towards Uraraka. Speaker, the heroes win. Everyone in the observation room was surprised by All Might's scream, but then they looked at the cameras and were shocked to see Izuku leaning against the bomb in the building. Iida was surprised while Uraraka had a smile on her face. Lita, what time did you enter? He said in surprise. Izuku, that matters, he said to walk to his companion, good job. Offering him the 5, Uraraka, and reciprocating the gesture. So everyone left the building while Izuku carried Bakugo, who was still unconscious, by the neck. Izuku, what will they do with him, dropping Bakugo face down? All Might, you can take him to the infirmary. Bakugo, damned blind man, he barely spoke. Izuku, nah, will be fine. All Might, well, leaving young Bakugo aside as he got up from the floor. Despite everything, the best player in the match was the young Lita, surprising them. Neither Uraraka nor Midoriya are among the winners, said the green-haired girl. All might and well, does anyone know the answer? They said a dark-haired woman, raising her hand. All Might Sensei was the one who best adapted to the situation, while Bakugo acted for personal reasons besides using large-scale attacks indoors, while Uraraka let her guard down and was discovered, while Midoriya was playing around with Bakugo and didn't take the training seriously. Izuku, look, girl, when I fight seriously, it's because my opponent is worth it, and here almost none of them, without saying none, are worth it. He said he was leaving the room. Hey bro, you underestimate us, said a redhead. Izuku, it's not that they're not at my level. He said he was leaving. Bakugo, that must be true, I've never been at his level. Looking at his hand. Who does that kid think he is? I thought, annoyed, a two-tone woman. All Might, young Midoriya hasn't even shown his quirk, he only has strength and speed. He thought. She called me a girl, thought the dark-haired woman. The fights continued with the absence of the albino, who, like the previous day, was not seen again after his fight. Another school day was starting, but as the students were entering the building, Izuku was at the entrance asking for All Might. Izuku was arriving a few minutes late when he saw the building and the closed doors, so he just teleported inside and started walking around the facilities. Aizawa, you're late, said his teacher. Izuku, just like you, he said as he walked toward the classroom. Aizawa, do we really have the best security? He wondered as he watched Izuku walk in as if nothing had happened. Once they were both in the living room. Aizawa, good work in yesterday's training. I saw the recordings and the results of the matches. Bakugo, you have talent, but stop acting like a child. Bakugo, I already know. Aizawa and Midoriya, take this more seriously. Also, about your uniform, it will be returned to you tomorrow. Izuku, demons. Aizawa, about today's class U. Most another special test, they thought. Aizawa would choose their representatives. Most it's a normal classroom activity. So most of them started saying they wanted to be them, while our sexy protagonist didn't pay any attention until they finished choosing. Bakugo, who voted for the blind man? Zero, did you think we'd vote for you? Aizawa, so who will be your president and vice president between Midoriya and Yaoyorozu? Izuku, huh? Noticing that she had 2 votes, just like Momo. Aizawa, then how will they erect it? Type, we have 2. Izuku, lose paper or scissors. Aizawa, that seems fine to me. Izuku, okay, walking like this. Momo, rock paper scissors, 1 2 3. I sing so that Izuku will make scissors and Momo paper, understand. Downplaying it, he sat back down. I'm giving my position to Lita, surprising his class. Aizawa, okay. Then Iida will be the president and Yaoyorozu the vice president. Type, how did it end up like this? During the break, there was an accident with the press that Lita fixed. Aizawa, today's class will be very different. You'll have 3 teachers. Me, All Might, and another person, and we'll be monitoring you. He said, surprising everyone with that. Zero, excuse me, but what exactly are we going to do? He said this so that Aizawa could take out a card that said, Rescue. Aizawa, disasters, shipwrecks, and among other things, rescue training. Kaminari, does the rescue look like it will be another difficult day? Mine, true. Hiroshima, that's a hero's duty, I have to be ready for anything. Suyu, all finally prove that no one can beat me in the water, Jero. Aizawa, I'm not finished. Calling attention, listen carefully. You can decide whether you will wear your suit or not. To remove them from the wall with a remote control, but some suits might limit your abilities. Your training will be outside of school, so we'll go by bus, and Midoriya, you need a suit. Izuku, demons. Aizawa, that's all. Get ready. Leaving the room. Once outside, Izuku was using his phone, surprising several people. The reason was that he was looking at his phone with the blindfold on, but then a whistle was heard. Lita, Class 1A, please assemble. We will form 2 lines according to your number and board the bus in an orderly fashion. Already on the way to the facilities. Lita, damn, I didn't think it was this kind of bus, he said, sounding depressed. Mine, there was no need, right? I was saying next to Lita. Suyu, if we're talking about the obvious, I have something to say about you, Midoriya, said the aforementioned, sitting to one side. Izuku, if frog girl. Suyu, my name is Suyu, but call me Su. Izuku okay. Suyu is your quirk some kind of physical enhancement, right, like All Might's. Attracting the attention of a bicolor. Izuku huh. Kaminari it's true. They are both very strong and fast. Kirishima true. Izuku have I shown them my quirk? He said, surprising them as well as Aizawa, who was listening. Kirishima are you saying, Izuku that I haven't used my quirk he said calmly, surprising them even more. Suyu so that's your strength and speed without your quirk. Izuku and Suyu that's why you said we're not on your level. Izuku correct. Suyu and how can you see with your eyes blindfolded? Izuku I can see the energy that people have, as well as the energy that objects retain, and the redhead and All Might share a certain amount of energy he thought the last thing. Kaminari wow. That's surprising, but if we're talking about flashy quirks, Bakugo, Kirishima, and Todoroki's are the strongest. Suyu yeah, but Bakugo is always angry, so he won't be popular. Bakugo what the hell do you want to fight? Suyu they see it pointing at him. Kaminari you know, we don't know each other very well, so it's surprising that everyone knows your personality is rubbish. Bakugo you'll regret your words. Izuku and the two-toned girl is too cold receiving a less than friendly look from the bicolor they see it thus Bakugo started an argument with the boys while the bicolored girl glared at our protagonist. Type what a vulgar conversation. He said with one hand over his mouth. Uraraka I find these things amusing he said on one side of this. Aizawa stop playing around, we're about to arrive receiving a, yes sir, from the majority. When they arrived at the outskirts of a dome-shaped building, someone was there. Hi guys, I was waiting for you. Uraraka 13 is my favorite heroine she said excitedly. Izuku I seriously thought it was a marshmallow. Pass I get told that all the time, but what are we waiting for? Let's go in right now. When the students entered, most of them were surprised by the facilities. Pass a shipwreck, an earthquake, a fire, etc., is a training ground with many disasters and accidents. It is called the Japan Drill Unit, or USJ for short. Students is Universal Japan Studies they thought. Note, in the manga they sell in my city, the USJ is called the Game Simulator Unit. Aizawa 13 and All Might. Shouldn't he be here by now? Pass it seems he worked too much on the road and ran out of time, he's resting, raising 3 fingers. Aizawa wow. That man is impractical well, let's take precautions just in case there's nothing to be done, let's begin. Pass excellent. Before anything else, I'll tell you a few things. Surely many of you know about my quirk. It's called Black Hole. It allows me to suck up anything and turn it into dust. Uraraka if he has saved many from disasters with his quirk. Pass that's true, but it's also a gift that can kill. Surprising most some of you have quirks like this. In this society, quirks are certified and strictly regulated, so it doesn't seem to be a problem. Please don't forget that if you lose your temper or make a wrong move, your powers can kill, even if you're trying to help. With Aizawa's test, you learned your limits, and with All Might's, you experienced the danger of using your quirk on someone else. In this class, you'll learn to use your quirks to save lives. The purpose of your quirks isn't to harm others, but to help. That's all. Bowing as the students cheered her. Aizawa okay, let's start with. Worse still, the lights started to fail, as did the fountain in the middle of the facilities, surprising the students. But from the middle, something began to form, and from that, a face could be seen. Aizawa grouped together and don't move he ordered his students, but they were all confused except for 113 protect students. Kirishima hey, what's wrong? Seeing that people started coming out of the center it's like the entrance exam, they started without warning. Then Izuku started walking forward. Aizawa don't move, but Izuku didn't care at all as Aizawa put on his glasses. This is real, those are villains. Impacting students. Izuku, 2 of them have more than one energy. I thought about how to smile. This will be fun. Previously, the Class A Hero course had arrived at the USJ. When they entered the facility, villains appeared. The only true heroes I see are Eraserhead and 13. How curious, the teacher's schedule said that All Might would be here. I speak the purple mist. Aizawa so these scumbags are behind what happened at the academy. Where is he? I even went to the trouble of gathering this crowd. All Might, the symbol of peace, I can't believe he's not here. I wonder if he'll come if we kill some children. a fan said to his hands. Hiroshima, what villains? They can't just walk into a hero school like that. Type if there were 13, why weren't the alarms activated? Pass, we have them, but Dawn, they just appeared here or anywhere in the school anyway. If the sensors didn't detect them, it means one of them has a quirk to handle it. An isolated area away from the main facilities where a class was scheduled. They're not stupid at all. They planned this surprise attack very carefully and with a specific objective, said the bicolor. Izuku Matara, All Might, everyone was surprised. Excuse me, but the villains are walking this way, pointing to the center. Aizawa 13, evacuate the boys and try to contact the school walking forward. Izuku, I'll go with him. Aizawa, no, you take care of your colleagues. Izuku, 2 of them have more than one quirk, be careful, I whisper to my teacher. Aizawa, I understand how much you all are to go and attack the villains. While Aizawa was fighting the villains, 13 was taking the students out, but then the man of mist appeared in front of them. There is no escape. Arresting the students, it's a pleasure to meet you. We're the League of Villains. You might find it audacious, but we took the liberty of coming to the hero's house to say hello. Izuku, hello. We already greeted you, so you can leave. Brats, you know it's very bad manners to interrupt your elders. Izuku, oh well, I'll be brief. Forward rotation, blue glow. Suddenly, the fog was thrown with great force against the wall. Who is this boy? But then he saw Izuku in front of him. Izuku, reverse rotation. Red glow. Demons. The man in fog disappeared so that the attack crashed into the door, sending it flying and opening a path outside while the students were surprised. Izuku, those who were waiting for an invitation to come out. Pass, guys, let's go. 13 led the boys out as Izuku began walking towards the center of the facility. Pass, what do you think it does? Izuku, I'll go help Aizawa-sensei. Lita, but he told us to leave. Izuku, he told you, but he told me to protect them. Signing up, I'm the strongest, he said, starting to go downtown. Bakugo, damn it, I'm falling. Running, trying to catch up with Izuku. Hiroshima, it's not manly to leave your comrades alone. Going also. Lita, guys, don't go. But a two-tone one was also going in. Just as they were about to reach Izuku, he disappeared only to reappear in the middle of a group of villains. Villain, hey, and that boy. Villain 2, never mind, just put it in. Izuku, maximum forward rotation, blue glow. All the villains went flying, crashing into trees or the ground, while the kids who were going to help watched in amazement. Hiroshima, he defeated more than 20 villains at once. Bakugo, that's the power of the blind emitter, he said, clenching his fists, so he's just been playing with us. Dawn, what quirk does he have? Hey, who is that boy? The fanatic was saying, wings hands, then the fog appeared. I'm sorry, Tamura Shigaraki, but a boy refused to let me separate his classmates. Tamura Kurogiri, if you weren't the way out, I'd kill you, but that's the boy, pointing at Izuku. Kurogiri, yes sir. Tamura, then it'll be a problem. Nomu, kill him, pointing at Izuku. Aizawa Midoriya, an attempt to go worse was stopped by villains who appreciated the forest. The beast charged at Izuku at monstrous speed, arriving in just a few seconds to overpower him and kick up a cloud of dust. Aizawa Midoriya, Tamura, ha 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 ha, the pride of the peace symbol destroyed, ha ha ha. Izuku, understanding, making Tamura stop laughing as this thing made to kill All Might. I ask above the standing Nomu. Tamura, how are you still alive? Izuku, I haven't the slightest idea. Just kidding, I do have one, but I won't tell you. Tamura, I was confused. The Nomu tried to hit Izuku, but he dodged it and struck him, sending him back a few steps. Tamura, don't croon with my Nomu, it has shock absorption and regeneration. Izuku, thanks for the information, then dodging a blow from the Nomu and moving away from him. Aizawa-sensei Kubraze, Aizawa didn't understand, but he did it anyway. Then I'll lose control, a little lowering her bandage and joining their hands. Avant rotation. Blue, the Nomu was against the reverse rotation. Red, empty, purple. The attack struck the Nomu head on, sending it and the purple sphere hurtling through the forest surrounding the facility. The attack then crashed into the wall, causing widespread destruction. The Nomu collapsed, exhausted. The attack narrowly missed destroying it thanks to its regenerative and absorption abilities. Izuku, what a shame, I was starting to have fun, she said, putting her bandage back on. Tamura, you cheated. Scratching his neck, Nomu was made to kill All Might. Kurogiri Shigaraki, we have to go. Tamura, not until that child is killed. All Might, everything is all right now. Entering through the door because I'm here. Tamura, damn it. Kurogiri, get me out of here. Tamura disappeared along with Kurogiri in front of Izuku. Izuku, maybe they'll entertain me in the future. All Might, Novan S is fine, he said when he arrived with Izuku. Izuku, I do, but there are several villains around. Take care of the toughest one. I've already defeated him. Withdrawing. All Might, he did all that, seeing the destruction caused by the purple void. As Izuku was walking, he saw his sensei. Not one of his arms was bleeding. Izuku, is sensei alright? Aizawa, if some bastard takes advantage of your attack to attack me, it's not serious. Izuku understood. As Izuku and Aizawa left, Aizawa explained that he had finished and another person was there to attend to him. They passed over the boys who were in shock. Hiroshima, that was greater than one for all. Dawn, is this on All Might's level? Bakugo, I was never at his level. The three of them were in shock after witnessing Izuku's attack. After the attack on the USJ, the students were taken to the academy to be taken home. The school had closed the next day. Meanwhile, in a room with the UA teachers, Naomasa, the police have investigated the group called the League of Villains, and there doesn't seem to be anyone registered with the name Shigaraki. Aside from knowing he's a young man in his 20s or 30s, we know nothing about his quirk. The same goes for the one called Kurogiri, the one who creates portals. It's likely they aren't citizens and use false names. In other words, they are people with unregistered quirks who are part of the underworld. Vlad means we know nothing. Sniper, we need to hurry before they become a bigger problem. All Might, is that all they have? Naomasa, if that's what 13 told us, your head in Midoriya. Nezu, speaking of Midoriya, Aizawa, did 13 discover anything about his quirk? Aizawa, he doesn't talk about it, but we saw him using attacks. Pass, I don't know what their names were, but there were two. One was blue, which when I used it I drove away the one called Kurogiri, and red, which I used to destroy the gate. Aizawa, and a purple one that was what caused that destruction. Nezu, different attacks, but they must be related to each other, he said thoughtfully. Midnight, anyone with more than one quirk. Nezu, it would be very likely. Aizawa, but the only thing we know for sure. Nezu, it's because this is on our side, thanks to the fact that no student was injured or, worse, killed. So the teachers continued talking about the League of Villains. The next day at the academy, the students were talking about a news report that mentioned the attack on the school where they appeared, until Aizawa entered with his arm bandaged. Aizawa, good morning, entering the room. Class, good morning. Lita, are you okay with your arm? Aizawa, it wasn't anything serious, but the fight isn't over yet. Bakugo, struggle. Kaminari, more villains. Aizawa, but he couldn't continue because the door opened, revealing the albino. Izuku, good morning, walking towards his seat under the watchful eyes of his classmates. Aizawa, as I was saying, the sports festival is coming up. The sports festival. The scream made Izuku fall out of his seat. Hiroshima, that's a totally normal school event. Kaminari, wait a minute. Is it okay to have a sports festival so soon after the villains infiltrated? News, and what if they attack us again or something? Aizawa, apparently, they think of it like UA. We will show our crisis management system as rock solid for the event, plus security will be reinforced 5 times more than in previous years. Besides, there's Midoriya, he said as he sat back down and gave a thumbs up. Sports festival is a great opportunity. It's not an event that can be cancelled because of some villains. That's why it's one of the biggest events in Japan. In the past, the Olympic Games were called the Sports Festival, and everyone went crazy for them. As you know, with the reduction in scale and population, they are now a shadow of their former glory, and now the event that has taken their place is the UA Sports Festival. Type then the greatest heroes from all over the country will be on the lookout. Kaminari, after graduating, it's typical to join a professional agency as a partner. Many lose their chance before becoming independent and remaining eternal companions. Kaminari, I feel you'll be one of them, given that you're an idiot. Aizawa, of course, joining a famous agency will give you more experience and popularity. Time is of the essence. If you wait to become a professional, then the path to your future will open up at this event, the event of the year. A total of 3 opportunities. No aspiring heroes can afford to miss this event. If you understand that, don't neglect your preparations. Most yes sir. At lunchtime, Izuku was walking towards the cafeteria when Kirishima Midoriya, Izuku turning around, noticing Kirishima and Mineta. Kirishima, I have a question for you. Izuku, this forward. Kirishima, why do you want to be a hero? Izuku, why do you want to be a hero? Kirishima, I want to be like that so that when they see me they know that everything is alright. Izuku, oh, and you, Mineta. Minutes, well, my 4 years ago self would have said it was for women, but I want to be this way so people are safe and to make my parents proud. Izuku, big goals, and all I want is my license. Kirishima, just the license. Izuku, yes, I would really like to open a school of heroes. Minutes, a school. Izuku, if several errors are corrupt or involved with bad things, then I would like to guide them down the right path. Kirishima, how manly, crying. The 2 boys had nervous smiles as they watched their red-haired classmate act, but then they heard laughter. All Might, young Kirishima is here, pointing at him. Kirishima, All Might, what's happening? All Might, lunch. Shall we eat together? What do you think? Kirishima looked at the boys while giving them a thumbs up. Izuku just shrugged. Kirishima, I'd love to going with All Might. Izuku, okay, let's eat. Minutes, what do you think All Might wanted with Kirishima? Izuku, I have no idea, that confirms for me that there's something between them. At the exit, several students were leaving when behind the door there were quite a few students blocking the exit for the students of Class A. So Izuku did the most obvious thing. He teleported towards the exit, thus avoiding a confrontation, surprising his classmates when they realized he wasn't there. Thus 2 weeks passed in the blink of an eye, during which everyone was preparing, some more than others, until the day arrived. Ink, Izuku, be careful. Izuku, and Ink burdening it, he said, making Izuku smile at him. Strive. Izuku, you'll see if they force me. He said he was leaving his house. Ink, how it has grown. At UA, there were hero merchandise stands, food stalls, fireworks, and all that for the sports festival. Meanwhile, in the waiting room, no, I wanted to wear my suit. Looking at his sports uniform. News, to keep everything fair we cannot. Sato, I wonder what the first round will be like. Tokiyami, it doesn't matter if he comes, we have no choice but to deal with it. Shoji, it's true, that's where Lita comes in. Lita, is everyone ready? We'll find out soon. Several people became nervous, while our protagonist leaned against one of the walls. Don Midoriya. Izuku, what's wrong, cold girl? He said, drawing the attention of the entire room. Don, you'll have worse destructive power. Judging by things, I think I'm stronger than you. He said it would be worse. His face looked annoyed, just like Izuku said. Kirishima, calm boys. Don, this goes for you too, Kirishima. All Might has his eyes on you, right? Surprising the little shark, I'll just tell them that I will defeat them. Izuku, it's so cold. Trembling as they hugged themselves. Don, I'm not here to play games with you, about to leave. Izuku, Todoroki, I'll just tell you that whatever you do, you won't be able to win. She said with a smile, before leaving. Don, that guy, she thought, annoyed. When sorry Todoroki did the stupidest thing, which is to challenge Izuku, the whole class went out onto the field of the stadium while President Mike introduced them along with the other first-year classes. The referee that year was the heroine 18 Midnight, who had most of the men blushing. Midnight representing the students of Class A, Izuku Midoriya. He said, to everyone's surprise. Izuku, Bakugo, why the damn blind man? Midnight, because he came in first place on the addiction test. Izuku didn't say anything to go up, but he glanced for a moment at the booth where Aizawa was, which frightened him. The reason? Izuku had the urge to destroy it with the purple void, and he felt it. Izuku was walking towards the microphone while several students judged him, then smiled. Izuku, good morning, Japan. Very cheerful greeting. Well, I didn't have anything prepared, so I'll improvise. Heroism is an individual sport, I know. Coordination between other heroes is good, but no matter how many allies one has, one always dies alone. He said seriously, surprising everyone who was watching the event. So show us what you're made of, future heroes. Enjoy the event. He said he was going to join his teammates as the crowd roared with excitement. Midnight after some grand words, let's get started with the first game of the year. So that several game names could roll across a screen as so that the screen would display obstacle course this. All 11 classes will participate in the course, which will be the circumference of the stadium, which is about 4 kilometers. The selling point of our school is freedom. While they remain on the course to lick one's lips, it doesn't matter what you do. Now take your place. Pointing to a starting line, all the groups lined up to begin the race when midnight they start. He said this so that all the students would run out into the tunnel while pushing each other. Present mic. Now it's a head-to-head. Are you ready to comment? Eraser. Aizawa, you were the one who forced me to come. Present mic. Let's get started. What should we pay attention to? Aizawa. To this part. All the students from the courses were pushing and shoving to get out, shouting and hitting each other, until a girl with 2 colors froze the tunnel exit so she could get out first. Dawn, I'm sorry, but worse, several from Class A managed to avoid being frozen to get out of the tunnel. Type how naive Todoroki, using a bar that raised it. Bakugo, I won't let you go, you half and half bastard, he screamed using his explosions. News, you caught me once with that. It won't happen again, avoiding the ice with its tail. Thus, several students managed to advance while others were left behind because of the ice. Dawn, more people outside of Class A were able to dodge it. Minutes, don't get cocky, Todoroki. He was about to attack her with his quirk, but backed away upon seeing robots. Present mic. The first barracks are hell. Advertisement. While in the race several robots had 0 points. Kaminari, aren't they the villains who got 0 points on the exam? Dawn, so this is what they used in the entrance exam. Izuku, surprising, isn't it? She said, standing next to her, surprising her. Dawn, how long have you been there? Izuku, a few seconds. Then a 0-point robot tried to attack him. Reverse rotation. Red glow, he said so that the robot's head would disappear with his attack. Okay, I'll leave you now. To disappear. Dawn, idiot. Just then, another robot was about to attack her. I have to show that idiot and that damn old man what I'm made of, he said to freeze the robot on a large scale and pass underneath it. Look, I've frozen it, we can go through. Dawn, I don't recommend it because it freezes when it's out of balance and care, he said, so that the robot falls to pieces. Miss the ball, incredible, she's the first to go through, but it's unfair, don't you think? Aizawa, his actions are logical and strategic, whereas Midoriya, he thought about looking at the exit. Miss the ball, just what you'd expect from someone who got in through a recommendation. Thus, Sahori quickly passed the second test, which was a cliff with pillars, using an ice bridge. Meanwhile, in the minefield, which was the last test, she had to fight against Bakugo and Kirishima for first place when they reached the final stretch. Present mic. The very first person to return to the stadium is Kirishima Ejiro. He said this so that the stadium would be filled with shouts of excitement, but Aizawa, you're wrong. First place is Midoriya, he said while the aforementioned was lying down on the grass. Present mic. When will I arrive? Aizawa, like 5 minutes ago. Present mic. And you didn't tell me. Dawn, shit, I lost, she thought angrily as she composed herself. So the audience began to shout with excitement while several students arrived tired, while Izuku was as fresh as a daisy. Then a list of the first 42 was made to start the second game. Midnight. Now for the second game. I know everyone already knows it's worse. What will it be? What will it be? Like I said, so that the screen would show a cavalry battle. Let me explain. Participants can form teams of 2 to 4 people with whomever they want. It's basically the same as any normal cavalry battle. The only difference is that depending on their position in the last game, they will be assigned a score. The points are assigned starting from the bottom, which begins with 5, so 41st place gets 5, 42nd place gets 10, and first place gets 10 million. In other words, whoever defeats the team in first place can reach the top no matter where it is, they said so that everyone would see Izuku as predators. Midnight. That's right, it's survival of the fittest, with a chance for those at the bottom to reach the top. Izuku, hee, that will be fun, he said, seeing how everyone was looking at him like predators, as he bumped his fist against his palm and twisted his fingers. An explanation about the second game of the sports festival that the author was too lazy to write. The 42 students who advanced to the second game were given a few minutes to form teams, meanwhile Izuku was standing around. Izuku, just as I thought. Everyone will come looking for me thought, but do I need at least one partner? He was thinking, but then someone touched his shoulder. Huh. Uraraka, can we team up with Midoriya? Izuku, are you sure everyone wants my head? Uraraka, yes, and besides, you said it yourself, you're the strongest. Izuku, you're a great friend. Uraraka. Uraraka, I know, she said proudly. Izuku, well, 2 more would be needed, he said, with his hand on his chin. Uraraka, we can ask Lita. Izuku, I don't think so. Uraraka, bye. Izuku beat him once, and I think he doesn't want to be left behind. Uraraka, that sounds logical. You stand out, said a pink-haired girl as she walked towards our protagonist. Team up with me, first place, he said, getting too close. Izuku. Izuku, who are you? I am Hatsume Mei from the support course. Uraraka, oh, the stranger from the last game. Izuku, do you know her? Uraraka, no. With I don't know you, but let me use your position. Izuku, all right. With so, being on his team, inevitably everyone will see more, right? Izuku, true. With that, my super babies will be more noticed by big companies. That means the big. Izuku, we understand. Stopping Mei. Uraraka, what do you mean by babies? With oh, in the support course we develop equipment that helps heroes with their quirks. I have many babies, surely one caught your attention. Uraraka, so. Izuku, babies are his inventions, he told Uraraka. You look for something that imposed us on the air, I'll go for someone. Uraraka, yes. Speakers. Miss the ball after 15 minutes of team formation and strategies. 12 teams are on the field. Aizawa, there are some interesting teams. Chris and Mike prepare for battle. It's time for the bloody battle of UA. Give the signal. Battlefield. Izuku, Mochi girl. Uraraka, yes. Izuku, crazy inventor. With ha ha ha. Izuku, Batapalo. Tokiyami, how did I end up here? Izuku, for a bag of seeds. Dark Shadow, let's go split your mother. Izuku, let's prove we're better, he said, holding the million-stitch blindfold over his eyes. Present Mike countdown. 3. Bakugo, our goal. Present Mike of the dawn, it's just 1. Present Mike 1. Midnight begin. Toys. Most of the teams were against Izuku. Tokiyami, an attack without delay. Huh, the fate of the hunted. Uraraka, destination. Tokiyami, make your choice. Midoriya. Dark Shadow, your mother's partle. Tokiyami, be quiet, irritated. Izuku, I choose maximum forward rotation. Blue glow. The powerful attack caused all the teams that were after Izuku to fall to the ground. Tetsu, we won't let them go. He shouted for one of his companions to make the ground like quicksand. Uraraka, we're sinking. Captain. Izuku, get ready, he said he would use a rocket pack he had on his back to get out of there, and so they flew away, leaving all the teams that were after them on the ground recovering. 3. There is. Exist and trying to attack them with his quirk. Tokiyami, Dark Shadow. Dark Shadow, I know, blocking the Jiro attack, no, you son of a bitch. Exist, damn Shadow. Tokiyami, keep covering us. Izuku, well done. Uraraka, Captain, we're about to land. Izuku understood, landing to start running. With what do you think of my babies? Aren't they beautiful? Izuku, they do their job well, girls. Uraraka, yes. Present Mike, even though we've only been here 2 minutes, it's turned into a free-for-all. Fights for bandages are everywhere. Ignoring the 10 million and securing a second to 4th place isn't such a bad idea. Minutes, don't think we'll make it easy for you, Midoriya. Izuku, minute. He wondered, but all he saw was Shoji and another team going against him. Tokiyami, we can't get trapped by multiple enemies. Izuku, let's go. When they were about to leave, Uraraka couldn't move a foot. What's happening? Uraraka, I'm stuck. Her boot was attached by a purple sphere. Izuku, Mineta. Get rid of her. Where is she? Minutes, Midoriya, here. It said above the shoji that covered it. Izuku, that's allowed. Midnight, yes. At that point, Izuku had to dodge a tongue. Izuku, frog girl. Suyu, I told you my name is Suyu, Midoriya. At that point, Izuku had to dodge Suyu's tongue like Mineta's spheres. Izuku, sorry, crazy inventor. To activate the backpack and fly away. With my baby. Seeing how Uraraka's boot had broken, Bakugo went after them in the air. Bakugo, don't let yourself be carried away. You damned blind man. He was about to attack Izuku, but Izuku just smiled. Dark Shadow, wear Muslim covering the attack and hitting Bakugo, pushing him away. Present Mick, what's wrong with that boy? He's wandered away from his horses. Is that okay? Midnight as long as it doesn't touch the ground. Seeing how Bakugo was rescued by Zero, Izuku's team went down. Izuku bien echo Uraraka. Uraraka, it's difficult with only one foot. Izuku, well done. Dark Shadow. Dark Sadao into high five Izuku. Izuku, it should be simple. They were moving, but someone stepped in front of them. Oh no, Todoroki. Donnie'll stay with them now. Tokoyami thought we'd have a confrontation with them in the end. It seems they think a lot about you, Midoriya. Izuku, I know, I'm charming. Tokoyami, not that way. Izuku, well, we need to move, we're halfway through the day. Then several teams launched an attack against them. Pay attention. Kaminari 1.3 million volts. His attack affected all the Kappas while his team covered themselves, and Izuku's team protected him with Dark Shadow so that Sahori could freeze the feet of all the teams. Present Mike Todoroki took care of the crowds. Aizawa she froze them after Kaminari's attack stopped them. I think it was obvious, but she took into account how many avoided him during the race. Preset Mike, good comment. Donnie'll take this. Holding a band in his hand. Kendo, huh? Damn it. Izuku, the backpack doesn't work. Watching as smoke came out of this. With baby. There's room for improvements. Uraraka, this is bad, we can't move away. Retreating from Sori's team. Tokoyami, Dark Shadow. Dark Shadow, I'll take care of it, attacking them, but Dawn type and protecting them with a pillar. Dark Sahado demons returning. Izuku, if they keep this up, will I have to use it? He thought. Uraraka, Yaoyorozu is a problem. Tokoyami, no, the problem is Kaminari with that armor. If it had been Sunlight Dark Shadow, he'd be toast. Izuku, right, they know. Tokoyami, no, the only one I've mentioned it to is Koda, but he's a man of few words. Izuku, if they don't know, we'll use it to our advantage. We'll win with these points. Meanwhile, a battle was taking place between blondes from both classes of heroes. At that moment, Sahori trapped our protagonist in ice around the arena. To be precise, there's 1 minute left and Todoroki did his best to grab the 10 million in an instant. But that's what I thought 5 minutes ago, but Midoriya has been able to keep his distance. At that point, Sori's team was about to approach. Dark Shadow, where the hell are you going, you sons of bitches? He said, standing in front. Dawn, he's keeping his distance while on my left side. He's clever. At this rate, if I want to freeze them to close the distance as much as possible, they'll defeat Iida if he keeps moving like this. It'll be me if I keep freezing indiscriminately, and Tokoyami can only protect himself from the electricity for a minute, that idiot. Lita, guys, there's only 1 minute left. After this, you won't be able to use me. I'm counting on you. Dawn in. Lita, hold on tight. Izuku, are they doing anything? Lita, make sure you get them. Todoroki, so that fire would come out of their engines. About torsion. Going at great speed towards Izuku, snatching the first bandage that Izuku had on his eyes. Reciproburst. Present Mike, what happened? That was fast. That was fast. If I could accelerate that much, you should have shown it in the preliminaries. Dawn, what was that? She said, surprised. Lita, by forcing the increase in torque and rotation, I create explosive power, but with the recoil, my engine becomes useless for a while. It's a secret move I haven't mentioned to anyone. Izuku, well played. Todoroki, but at that moment, Sahori noticed that he had a bandage with about 300 stitches. Maybe Dark Shadow gave me another bandage. Dark Sadao, take it, you bastards. Present Mike, what? Midoriya still has 10 million points. Izuku are going maximum forward rotation. Blue glow, he said this to break the ice that had them trapped around him, but then. Morning, let's. Lita, I'm sorry, I can't move. Morning demons, raising his left arm. Izuku saw how a small flame was about to appear, but he stopped. Bakugo, damned blind man, flying with his explosions against Izuku. Izuku, I win, she said, smiling. Present Mike time. I yelled so that Bakugo would fall face first to the ground. This is the end of the second round, the cavalry battle. Uraraka, it's over. Tokoyami, true. Dark Shadow, they didn't get it. Izuku, well done, guys. Bakugo, arrrrr, he screamed while hitting the ground. Dawn, curse. I have a small suspicion. Now we'll see the top 4. First place goes to Midoriya's team. He said this so that Izuku could remove the dotted bandage from his eyes, lifting him up while he still had the bandage on his eyes. Second place goes to Todoroki's team. Lita, I'm sorry, we didn't make it. Type, don't worry about getting lost, we'll pass. Dawn, I almost used it. At this rate I'll do what that damn old man wants, he said, clenching his fist. Present mic. Third place goes to Bakugo's team. Mine, oh, that was close. 0 Well, the third one isn't so bad. Kirishima, do you think he feels that way? He said, watching Bakugo scream on the ground. Present mic. In the fourth, Team Testu, Team Shinso. When he came from the back. Shinso, thank you for your work, leaving his colleagues confused. Present mic. Now we'll take an hour break for lunch before the afternoon festivities begin. Let's go. Hey, let's eat. Aizawa, I'm going to bed. Uraraka, Ida didn't know she had a move like that, that's not fair. Lita, that has nothing to do with fairness, I just hadn't used it. I just wanted to do something that could compete against Midoriya, but I still failed. Crying comically. Uraraka, speaking of him, where is he? In one of the corridors of the UA Stadium. Izuku, her gaze is frightening, leaning against a wall while Sahori watched him seriously. So what did you want? I'm hungry. Izuku and Sahori could be seen read in one of the stadium corridors, looking at each other in silence until. Izuku, so are you going to talk, or are we going to go eat? Dawn. Izuku, this is testing my patience, he thought, unaffected by the girl's gaze. Dawn, I was so overwhelmed that I broke my promise. Izuku, what are you talking about? Dawn, they didn't feel it, but at the last moment I was the only one overwhelmed. Of them, I was the only one who witnessed your power from afar. Izuku, and Dawn, you are All Might's secret son. Izuku, Izuku, what are you basing that on? We don't even look alike in the slightest. Dawn, you were able to take after your mother. Izuku, and how am I supposed to know? Dawn, watching her. Izuku, I don't even know where it is. Dawn, Izuku, I was abandoned at 3 years old in an orphanage. If you want, I'll go all over the city and look for her to ask her. Sahori was in shock. She didn't know what to say. If you were going to say that stupid thing, I'm leaving. Sahori was in shock because the boy who was always cheerful and carefree looked really upset, while behind a wall Bakugo was listening. He knew that Izuku didn't like to talk about his former family, so he never bothered him about it. After that, recreational activities were held for those who did not advance to the finals, with the first participants taking part in one-on-one matches. Meanwhile, Izuku was on one of the stadium floors when Endeavor, Chico. Izuku, Number 2. Endeavor, you're the first to fight, right? Izuku, believe. Endeavor, can I ask you a favor? Izuku, maybe. Endeavor, that you help my daughter. Izuku, help. Endeavor, yes. I made many mistakes as a father and that affected my family, but she was one of the most affected. Izuku, is it your fault he's not using his fire? He said this so that Endeavor nodded and Izuku sighed. I will. Endeavor, thank you. I don't want her to be killed because of me. Izuku, I shouldn't get involved, but it'll be a small revenge, she said, smiling, as they announced that their fight would begin shortly. Well, I have to go. He said this before disappearing with the sound of the PlayStation 2 playing in the background. Endeavor, what the hell? I shout in surprise. Thus began the first fight of the final event of the sports festival in one of the corridors leading to the arena. Endeavor, you won't listen to me even if I repeat it again. Dawn, I will win with my mother's power. I will never use your power when I fight, he said, walking past without looking at Endeavor. Endeavor, even if that works for now, you'll encounter an enemy you can't defeat and they'll kill you. That's what I'm trying to prevent. Dawn, that doesn't matter, I'll win. Present mic. Third and second in the preliminaries. You're very strong, girl. It wasn't a recommended admission for nothing. From the hero course, Todoroki Sahori, she said while she was on the sand with a serious look against the first of both events. He is Izuku Midoriya. I scream, something's wrong. Midnight, why Midoriya? Midnight, I don't know. In the Class A stands. Minutes, why Midoriya? Uraraka, we haven't seen him since the second game ended. Kirishima, if she doesn't show up, Todoroki will be declared the winner. Minutes, that's bad. Bakugo, he'll come, right? On the sand. Midnight, Midoriya. Report to the arena in 3 minutes or you will be declared the loser. Announcement. Dawn, he doesn't even want to see me, did he think sadly. The heroes doubted whether the young man would arrive. Many already considered Sori the winner, but then. Izuku sorry for the delay, he said in the arena. Midnight Kya, when did you arrive? Izuku just. In a house. I told them that sensei was coming, a green-haired girl said. I had my concerns, but it's great that he participated, said a little panda. Salmon, said a white-haired man. At the stadium, present Mike with both of them in the arena, let the first battle begin. The two of them remained still without making any movement until morning. I'm sorry about before. When he said that, a great pillar of ice went towards Izuku, freezing the stadium as it surpassed the roof, surprising everyone with the great display of power. Dawn, I sigh, icy air. Izuku, I'm sorry, he whispered in her ear, his back to the girl because of what's going to happen. Sahori was surprised, so she turned around to throw a punch, which he easily dodged, allowing Izuku to punch her in the stomach, forcing her to her knees, and then he backed away. Dawn, how'd I dodge it? Recovering. Izuku, weren't you going to defeat me? Dawn, be quiet. Sahori launched a pillar of ice at Izuku, but it had no effect on him, and the ice appeared behind him. My attack didn't do anything to him. Thinking about that, Sahori ran towards Izuku to touch him and create a large amount of ice around him. Terms, he said, with patches of ice on his body. Izuku, I don't think so. Dawn, but my attack wasn't the same as the first one. I touched you. Izuku, what you touched was the infinity that you excite between you and me. Dawn, what? Izuku, I'll prove it to you. Extend your hand. Present Mike, what is happening in this fight? Aizawa, I have no fucking idea. Dawn, what do you want? Thought. Izuku, come on. Do it, extending his hand. Dawn, I have to get closer. Otherwise, she thought, trying to remember the purple void, when Sahori approached Izuku to try and touch his hand, but she couldn't. Izuku, all pointing out how his hands didn't touch. Dawn, why can't I touch you? Izuku, this is what I like to call infinity, but in reality you don't stop, you just slow down the closer you get, and what will you do? We could even hold hands. Brushing their palms together, surprising the audience, while a hero wanted to kill Izuku. Dawn, didn't do it. He said with a slight blush. Izuku, don't be so shy, you'll embarrass me. Taking the girl's hand. Dawn, damned, she said, but then Izuku punched her, forcing her to her knees. Izuku, tell me what kind of hero you want to be. Dawn, that matters, she said with difficulty. Izuku, and Dawn, I want to be a hero like All Might, she said as tears streamed from her eyes. Izuku, and tell me, do you think All Might is holding back his power to save others? Dawn, no. Izuku, tell me what you'll do the day you have to face someone and you can't save them because you didn't use your fire. Dawn, they. Flashback. You could see a young Sahori being hugged by her mother. Dawn, I don't want to be a hero like Dad who mistreats you, Mom, she said while crying. King, but you want to be a hero, right? Dawn, just King if you want to be, that's fine as long as you have a future you feel secure about. Smiling at her, you don't have to do what your blood dictates, you have the right to become whatever you want. Dawn, Mama whispered to activate its fire. Present Mike, this is. In the stands. Uraraka, I turn on the fire. Lita, he did it, remembering how he had said he wouldn't use it. All Might, young Midoriya, were you perhaps trying to save young Todoroki? He thought about the teacher's stands. Endeavor, thanks, kid. He thought, watching the fight. On the sand. Dawn, even though I don't have a chance, I also want to be a hero. Izuku, that's right, girl. He said, trying to make Sahori smile, that's why. I give up. Dawn, Midnight Midoriya has surrendered. The winner is Todoroki. Announcement thrilling the audience. Dawn, because. She said, confused. Izuku proves you can be that heroine and more, to point to his shirt and show him that it had holes, you would have exposed yourself to all of Japan. Dawn, idiot. Blushing scream. Izuku, well, prove it, he said to get down from the sand. Dawn, yes. After Izuku withdrew from the sports festival competition, he went home. The reason was that he didn't want to hear Bakugo's whining about his withdrawal. In the end, Bakugo won the festival because Sahori couldn't use her fire properly and didn't want to overexpose herself to all of Japan. The academy gave the students a few days off to recover. One rainy morning, our protagonist was walking to the academy without an umbrella because the rain didn't touch him. Lita, good morning, Midoriya. He said as he ran. Izuku, where? Watching him run in a raincoat and boots. Lita, why are you going so slowly? You'll be late. He said to keep running. Izuku, late. Then he realized something, the homework, so Izuku set out to catch up with Iida. When he reached him, Iida was raising his boots. Hey Lita. Lita, if it's about my brother, don't worry. I'm sorry for worrying you. He said to leave. Izuku, I wanted the homework. The students of Class A were talking like people do when they go to the academy, talking about each other. Meanwhile, Izuku was copying the homework from a bicolored girl at an incredible speed. Just then, the door opened. Aizawa, good morning. Class, good morning. Professor Aizawa, they told him as he went to the desk while Izuku handed the notebook to the bicolored girl. Aizawa, well, today we'll have a special computer class making most people nervous. Codenames will choose their hero names. Most we'll do something exciting. Aizawa activated his quirk to calm everyone down. Aizawa, let's talk about the hero recruitment I mentioned the other day. It's usually done when someone has some experience at UA, but with you it's different. The fact that you want to recruit first-year students means you're interested in their potential. Many of these offers disappear if interest diminishes over the years. Hagakure, we will have to show our potential when we are chosen. Aizawa, exactly, and I'll show you the total offers. Then the names appeared on the board along with the amounts of offers, the first being Todoroki, followed by Bakugo and Izuku. Aizawa, they are usually better distributed, but this year they focused on 3. Kaminari, ah, what a difference. Aoyama, they don't know about quality. Jiro, Todoroki first, Bakugo second, and Midoriya third. Kirishima, but wasn't it the opposite at the festival? 0, I'm sure they were scared to chain him to the podium. Bakugo, if they got scared, they're weak. Type, ah, you're amazing, Sahori. Dawn, it's probably because of my father. Uraraka, we have offers. Shaking Lita. Minutes, Midoriya, no te ves emocionado. Izuku, me. Aizawa, taking all this into account, even if not all of them were selected, they will do internships with professionals. Izuku, so is it mandatory? Aizawa, yes, everyone experienced the attack of real villains at the USJ. Aizawa, in any case, it will be very useful for them to see how the professionals perform. Sato, that's why we will erect names. Uraraka, this is getting fun. Aizawa, these names are temporary, but if you don't think it through. Midnight, they will pay the consequences entering the room. Exciting, some of the men people often remember their student names, and those end up being their professional hero names. Most men, Midnight. Aizawa, well, that's how it is. Midnight will make sure they're acceptable. I'm not good at that. He said, taking out his jacket. When they choose their name, they get a more concrete image of what they want to be. That's why the name and personality go hand in hand, like All Might, for example. Izuku, a name. While they were passing him the sign, he remembered something. Jijej, a few minutes later, while they were choosing the names, most of them. Midnight, those who have already decided, please come forward. Impacting most people, so a blonde guy passed by. Aoyama, here I go, bright hero. I can't stop twinkling. Displaying the sign, shocking everyone. Midnight, it's easier if you remove the I and use the contraction can't. Aoyama, Mamabuase is right. All he approves. Sato, you have to choose a language, English or French. Mine, okay, it's my turn. Passing in front, alien queen hero name. Midnight, another one like the acid blood from that movie, better not. Mine, damn, returning to its place. Suyu, can I introduce myself? Midnight, forward. Suyu, I've had it in mind since elementary school, showing their sign, rainy season heroine Froppy. Midnight, adorable and not at all scary, is a name that everyone loves. Most Froppy. Froppy. So everyone started coming forward to present their names and being accepted until Midnight, this is going better than I thought. All that's missing is young Bakugo, who needs another name, Midoriya and Iida, right? Thus Lita took a step to show that her name was going to be like a certain bicolor. Midnight, well, young Midoriya, come in. He said, but he didn't answer. Midoriya. Minutes, Midoriya te toka, moving it a little. Izuku, huh, what happened? Most, he was asleep. Aizawa, that boy fills me with pride, he thought as he was awakened by the noise. Izuku, my turn, he said to move forward. Infinite hero Satoru Gojo. Midnight, was there anything in particular that made you choose it? Izuku, there was a time when they called me that, so I grew quite fond of it. Midnight, all right. Bakugo, lord of the explosive assassin. Midnight, that one won't work either. Aizawa, now that you've chosen your names, let's talk about the internships. They will last 1 week. As for the location, the students who received offers will have a list and can choose. Those who haven't received offers will choose from 40 agencies that accept our students for internships. They have offices in different locations and different specializations. Midnight, well, for example, 13 focuses on rescues from accidents and disasters instead of confronting villains. Got it? Aizawa, think very carefully about your choice. Class, yes sir. Aizawa, you have until the weekend. 0, we only have 2 days. Aizawa, yes, we're finished. He said to go out with Midnight. Several students stayed behind talking about where they would go, while some left, but in the hallways of UA. Dawn, and where will you go? Izuku, with Endeavor. Dawn, something in general. Izuku, no, nothing, this doesn't matter to me. Dawn, why aren't you interested in anything about heroes? Izuku, I just want the license to use quirks. Dawn, oh, I see. I'm still wondering how you can read with the blindfold on. Izuku, Pokemon magic, he said to disappear. Dawn, I think it's normal in the first day of the internships had arrived and Class A was at the station. Aizawa, you have their suits, right? Don't forget that they shouldn't be worn in public. Izuku, haha, seeing that he was wearing his suit. Aizawa, don't lose them. Mine, give it. Aizawa, speak well. Yes sir. Mine, yes sir. Aizawa, mind your manners in front of the heroes of your agency, you can leave. Class, yes sir. Thus the albino and the half-albino took the same train. Izuku, Todoroki. Dawn, and Izuku, give this to Endeavor, giving him a piece of paper. Dawn saw that, turning to see that he wasn't there. The internship days continued as everyone gave their best, except for a certain albino who never made it to his agency. But putting that aside, one night in Hosu City, a conflict arose between the hero killer Stain and some students. Dawn, damn, Iida and the hero are too injured to move, Kirishima is paralyzed, and I'm losing a lot of blood, she said this while trying to get away from the hero killer. The assassin was going after Sahori while she avoided her ice and fire, but then she had to create some distance. Stain, one more. Dawn, he said, turning around like that, to go back. Midoriya. Izuku, hello, good. I waved to her. I hadn't planned to come, but you were completely exhausted. I saw Kirishima's message, so I came after doing some sightseeing. So, what was it? Dawn, he pointing at Stain. Izuku, oh, he, I told you to prove to me that you could be a heroine, but this isn't going too far. Okay, give me 10 seconds. He said to do stretching. Dawn, but, Izuku, don't worry, I'm the strongest. He told Sahori to sit on the ground, trying to close her wounds. Okay, hold this, throwing a shopping bag she was carrying in her hands. Dawn, and this, looking at the stock market. Izuku, Kikufuku from Kikusuien, the delicious specialty of Sendai. I recommend the creamed edamame, you can have one if you like. Iida, you were buying souvenirs while we risked our lives. Izuku, they're not souvenirs, I'll eat them on the way home. He said, turning his back on the hero killer who lunged to cut him down. Native, careful, Izuku, the Kikufuku are better than anyone. Then the assassin attacked Izuku, raising a layer of dust. Dawn, she said with a Kikufuku in her mouth, looking at the hero killer in front of her on her knees. Izuku, they fill them with an exquisite cream, he said, sitting atop the hero killer. Stain, damn you. He said he was about to attack Izuku repeatedly with his katanas, but Izuku dodged them. Izuku, my friends are watching me, I'll have to show off a bit. He said to dodge Stain's slash and strike with his katana, breaking it, and immediately followed up with another blow that slammed him into the remaining ice of Sori. Stain, what superhuman speed, is that his quirk? He said he was about to unleash a barrage of knives, so Izuku, who was standing in front of Sahori, was hit, but they never reached him. Izuku 7, 8, 9, the knives fell to the ground, making Izuku disappear. Stain, Izuku 10, he said, behind the hero killer, I'll hit him on the back of the neck and knock him out. Native, who is that boy? He wondered. Kirishima, are they okay? He said, stepping through the ice. Izuku, I already took care of it, he said to throw the killer against a wall. All yours. Lita, guys, getting UPI, wanted to apologize for involving you all in this. Kirishima, no problem. Lita, bro, the good thing is that we're all okay. Iida, and but then he received a blow to the stomach that brought him to his knees. Izuku, that's what you get for the stupid thing you did, and next time it'll be worse for you, got it? Iida SC, he said as best he could. Izuku, well, I'm out. I don't want anything to do with this. Don, okay. Here you go, giving him the bag. We won't say you were here. Izuku, why is it half empty? Don, have an idea, she said with crumbs on her lips. Izuku, well, see you at the academy. Leaving. Hiroshima, you were seriously eating while this was happening. Don, any problem? He would be. Hiroshima, no scared, but we should tie it up, referring to Stain. Don, I had forgotten I was here. After Izuku withdrew, the boys encountered other heroes. The same thing happened. Hiroshima was kidnapped by the Nomu, but Stain saved him. His speech about heroes, along with those involved in the defeat of the hero killer, didn't mention Izuku. The days passed until their internships ended, and they returned to the academy. Hiroshima, why Zero, seriously? Seriously, Bakugo? They were laughing. Bakugo didn't laugh. He said, with a type of hair different from normal, my hair got used to it and it won't come back even if I wash it. Don't laugh. I'll kill you. But then I hear a flash. Izuku, this goes out to all the girls you liked, he said, holding his phone. Bakugo, damn blind man. Making her hair return to normal. Hiroshima, why Zero, he's back. So Bakugo tried to hit Izuku, failing every time, so he took it out on the other two. Kaminari, those who changed the most or went through the most were Iida, Hiroshima, and Todoroki, right? Zero, if the hero killer, he said, being dragged by Bakugo. Minutes, it's good that they're okay. Type 1 was worried. Sato, I heard that Endeavor saved them. Hagakure, yes, incredible, that's why it's number 2 at that moment. Sahori remembered how Izuku had saved them and how the police had told them to say that Endeavor had saved them. Dawn, if he saved us. News, I saw it on the news, the hero killer was linked to the League of Villains. Izuku, they both had very different goals. I don't think they reached any agreement, she thought as Bakugo tried to take her phone, failing. News, the thought of someone like that being in the USJ scares me. Kaminari, it's scary, but did you see the Ojiro video? News video of the hero killer. Kaminari and Izuku, what happened after I left? I whisper to you at dawn. Donnie'll tell you later. Kaminari, you can tell he was very determined and tenacious, don't you think? Hiroshima, hey Kaminari. Kaminari realizing Iida, I'm sorry. Iida, no problem. It's true he was very tenacious, I understand it might seem great, but he chose to kill as a result of his beliefs. No matter what he believes, that part is wrong. To prevent someone else from ending up like me again, I will walk the path to becoming a hero. Kirishima, that's the spirit. Lita, come on, it's time to start class. Everyone to your places. Tokiyami, what a scandal. Dirk, Shadow, bitter. Exist all because Kaminari said weird things. Kaminari, I'm sorry. All Might, how have you been, young people? I hope you're well. For this training session, which will begin shortly, we'll see how you've improved since you've returned from your internships. We'll have some fun with a rescue race. Iida, if we're going to do rescue training, shouldn't we go to the USJ? All Might, that place is for disaster training, and it's still under repair. He said as someone whistled. Do you remember what I said? Yes, it's a race this. The Gamma Field, an area of factories designed like a maze. They will be divided into groups of 5, one by one. When I send them the signal, all 5 will leave at once from the outside. It's a race to see who rescues me first. Of course, they must keep the damage to a minimum. Pointing at Bakugo. Bakugo didn't point it at me. All Might, all right. First group, to your places, which included Iida, Ojiro, Izuku, Kirishima, and Zero. Kaminari, Iida hasn't recovered, has he? He shouldn't just stand there watching. Shoji, most of that group has good mobility. Type those at the greatest disadvantage are Midoriya and Kirishima. Exist, I honestly don't know how good it will be. Minutes, who thinks I'll win? I'm going with Zero. Kaminari, but Ojiro is there. Bakugo, the blind man, will lose. Uraraka, even though he's injured, I think it will be Iida, he said, making Suyu nod. Dawn, Midoriya. All Might, okay, here we go. Let's begin. Sounding the alarm. So everyone started moving with the help of their quirk except Izuku. Zero was the first to go, but suddenly Kirishima took over, imitating Bakugo's movements and surprising everyone. But then he suddenly became clumsy. All Might, it's over. Thank you and congratulations. Handing him a bandage. Izuku, it doesn't matter, he said, holding the bandage in his hand. Zero, when it moved, he said, on his knees. Iida, Kirishima, are you okay? He said this so that he would give him a thumbs up while he was on the ground. All Might, young Midoriya arrived first, but compared to the beginning of the year, everyone has improved with their quirks and they are preparing for the final exams. Most, yes. All Might, you can leave. First group. Next group. Get ready. So the boys left while All Might exchanged a few words with Kirishima. Izuku, which is what they are hiding, he thought, noticing the interaction between the two. When the academy ended, Sahori and Izuku were talking while Sahori waited for them to arrive for her. Izuku, then the hero killer saved Kirishima, he said, looking at his phone. Don, I keep wondering, how do you see it, but if he saved him? Izuku, in the video, you and the heroes look scared. Don, his killer instinct was too strong. Izuku, if we had been serious, our fight would have been different. Don, would you have lost? Izuku, I would win, Iin said. Then a new car arrived. They came for the princess. Don, very funny. Hey. Izuku and Don, can I ask you a favor? Izuku, saving you from the hero killer wasn't enough. Don, yes or no? Izuku, yes, but don't get angry. Don, I need to go buy some paints and I was wondering if you'd come with me. Izuku, when and at what time? Don, tomorrow at the mall at 2. Izuku, I'll be there. Don, see you tomorrow. Izuku, see you tomorrow. Disappearing. Sahori had been waiting for Izuku at the shopping mall for a couple of minutes. Don, where is that idiot? She said, annoyed. Sahori began searching for Izuku with her eyes but had to stop herself from a nosebleed. Izuku had arrived. Izuku, sorry for the delay. Don, and never mind. Let's go, she said, blushing, as she entered the mall. Izuku, and what are you going to buy? Don, some paints, skewers, and my sister asked me to bring a couple of things, he said, showing a list. So Izuku and Sahori went to the shops buying what the bi-colored girl needed, with constant flirting from girls that annoyed Izuku. After a couple of hours at the mall, the couple was in a cafe. Don, you're very popular with the girls, he said, sipping a cappuccino. Izuku, what can I say, I'm quite the heartthrob. Don, I thought I'd never see you without the blindfold. Izuku, it's easier to get another one than glasses. Don, I see you're not blind, but why are you using it? Izuku, I use it so I don't kill my opponent. Don, your power is too great, isn't it? Izuku, yes, but what were you doing during your internship? Don, I was training my fire side and then the assassin thing and a few days in the hospital, and what did you do to avoid going? Izuku, something important. Don, what's it like to be a tourist? Izuku, exactly. After walking around the mall for a while, they went outside to wait for the bi-colored girl to arrive. While they were talking, her name came, but before leaving, she approached Izuku and kissed him on the cheek before getting in, blushing and leaving a confused Izuku behind. A few days later at the academy, the midterm exams had taken place, worrying several students about their low grades. Most of them asked Momo for help studying in the cafeteria. Izuku, will there be a practical exam? Iida, you didn't pay attention to Aizawa-sensei. Izuku, I was sleeping. Don, typical of him. Iida, besides, I don't think it's that far-fetched. Izuku, I'll have to review some things in the document. Uraraka X2, but what do you think the practical exam will be about? Hagakure, it will cover everything we've experienced in the first half of the year. Suyu, those are the exact words Aizawa-sensei would say. Uraraka, all we saw was combat training, rescue training, and basic training, right? Izuku, believe then someone tried to hit Izuku, but the blow never landed. What do you need? He said without turning around to see who tried to hit him. Monomial, what the hell? Seeing how he couldn't hit Izuku. Izuku, what do you need? Monomial, I heard they found the hero killer at the festival. Class A likes to draw attention to themselves. People pay a lot of attention to them because they expect a lot from them. It's because they only attract trouble. How scary. I think we'll all end up caught up in their problems and become victims too, like the curse of the god. Izuku placed his fingers on the blonde boy's forehead and he collapsed. Iida, what did you do, Midoriya? He said calmly, since the blonde guy was bothering him. Izuku, I just knocked him out. Then an orange-haired girl arrived to pick up the blonde guy. Kendo, I'm sorry. Class A, this guy's heart is twisted. Izuku isn't that his soul, Kendo sorry, but I heard them and they don't know what the practical exam will be about. Apparently, it will be battles against robots, like in the entrance exam. Izuku it would be very easy. Kendo huh, Izuku I mean, we already did that in past. I mean, it would be too easy. Kendo that information was given to me by a second-degree friend. Monomial are you stupid, Kendo? That information was to surpass the despicable Class A. Kendo knocked him out again. Kendo, they're not to be underestimated, he said, leaving while dragging Monoma along. Izuku I told you that technique, 10 minutes knocked out, how many times have they knocked him out he thought with a drop of sweat as he watched Kendo dragging Monoma along. In the living room, Mina Kaminari very good. Kaminari I think it will be very easy if they are just robots. Mine that's how it is. Shoji I think they would have trouble controlling their quirks against normal people. Kaminari yes, but it will be very easy if they are robots. Mine yes, it will be very easy to melt them. Zero now they just need Yaoyorozu to help them study and they'll pass without any problems. Kaminari Mina now we can go to training camp. Izuku if they are robots the exam will be very easy. Bakugo it doesn't matter, without people or robots it won't be easy, fools. Kaminari who did you call a fool? Bakugo shut up already, they need to learn to control their quirks, hey blind man. Izuku Bakugo, you've been making me angry, and I don't want another half-hearted victory like at the festival. In the next exam, there will be individual grades, and we'll see who's the best. I'll beat you, no doubt. I'll finish you off, you damn blind fool. And you too, Todoroki, I'll beat you. He said as he left the room. Kirishima so much so that I didn't really see him angry. Tokiyami is it impatience or is it hate? Izuku the two. Aizawa Bakugo is worse than I expected he was saying, overhearing from one of the hallways. The days passed as the students studied and trained for the exams. When they finished the theoretical exam, it was time for the practical exam. Aizawa okay, let's begin the practical exam. Obviously, it's possible to fail this exam. If you want to go to camp, don't make stupid mistakes. Jiro there are a lot of teachers here. Aizawa I hope you researched this in advance and can imagine what we're going to do. Kaminari we'll definitely fight against robots. Mine rockets, Curry, tests of courage. Nezu they won't fight against robots at all. Coming out of Nezu's scarf for several reasons the exam will be different said, shocking Amina and Kaminari. Jiro, Sero and Ojiro it's the Nezu direct line they said while Mina and Kaminari were frozen in place. Type it will be different this time. Nezu if this time it will be teeth. From now on we will concentrate on combat and the work of heroes he said as he climbed down from Aizawa's shoulder to teach them what a real fight is like and prepare them. That means they'll form teams of 2 and fight together with one of their teachers in a real battle. Isn't that great? He said, surprising them. Uraraka we will fight against the teachers. Aizawa also, the pairings and who they will fight have already been chosen. I chose them based on several factors including fighting style, grades, and personal relationships. These are the pairings. First, Todoroki and Yaoyorozu will team up against me, and Midoriya and Bakugo will be another team. Bakugo Aizawa and his opponent will be. All Might I will be your opponent said falling from the sky. Bakugo we'll fight All Might. Izuku you'll need more hands to give me a blowjob he thought. Nezu now we will announce all the teams and the teachers they will face. Sato and Kirishima vs Smentos. Tsuyu and Tokiyami vs Ectoplasm. Ojiro and Lita vs Power Lord. Yaoyorozu y Todokoki vs Aizawa. Uraraka y Aoyama vs Sniper. Mina y Kaminari vs Nezu. Kota y Jiro vs Present Mike. Mineta and Zero vs Midnight. Hagakure y Shoji vs Sniper. Izuku y Bakugo vs All Might. Nezu the exam time limit is 30 minutes. Your objective is to put these handcuffs on your teacher. Showing them or one of you escapes the area. Kaminari we must capture the professor or escape from this place, it's like combat training. Mine we can really only escape. Nezu and Present Mike but I warn you that it will be very different from combat training because your opponent will be much better. Exist what are you saying? Seriously, I can't imagine. Present Michi silly girl, Watch your words. Past this time your exam will be very similar to a real battle. You have to think of us as if we were villains. Sniper assuming they encounter their enemy, if they believe they can face him, that's fine, but Aizawa sometimes when your opponent is stronger, it's smarter to run away. Todoroki, Iida, Kirishima, I'm sure you all understand that. Iida, I will not make the same mistake. I will be my own hero. I will pass this exam and prove it. Kirishima, it will be fight and win or flee and win. All Might, yes. We take your decision making into account, but you probably think the best thing is to run away, right? That's why we asked the support class to make these weights for us. Showing them. Present mic, wow, those are ultra compressed weights. All Might. We will carry close to half our own weight, putting them on it's to give them an advantage, outdated but worse, that way you decrease movement and consume more energy. Damn, they're heavier than I thought. By the way, we held a competition to choose the design and we used the one by the young Hatsume. Izuku the crazy inventor. Bakugo, it's so we consider confronting them, they underestimate us. All Might, ha ha ha, that's what you think. Aizawa, alright, each team will take the exam in order on the prepared stage. Sato, Kirishima, get ready. Kirishima, Sato, yes sir. Aizawa, those waiting their turn can watch the fights or prepare a strategy, it's up to you, that's all. He said, leaving with the teachers. So most of them went to get ready with their partners, while our protagonist went to the camera room. Recovery girl, from what you'll see, I'll have a lot of work today. Then the door opens. Uraraka, oh, you're going to see Midoriya too. Izuku, if I forget to charge my phone overnight. Uraraka, it's happened to me too. Izuku, besides, it would be a waste of time to create a strategy. Uraraka, as for me, there's no point in talking to him. Izuku, oh. Uraraka, that's why I'll use other people's fights as a reference. Izuku, good idea. Thus the first confrontation began where Kirishima and Sato failed after being defeated by their teacher. Izuku, this will be very difficult. For the others, she thought as she smiled with excitement. 3 practical exams had been carried out where 2 of the teams had passed, these being the team of Ojiro, Iida and Tokiyami and Tsuyu, while the team of Kirishima and Sato had failed. The 4th fight was going to take place in a fake city. Dawn, it's our turn, let's go. Momo, are you nervous? Type no. Dawn, okay. Considering our opponent, I think I have an idea. Speaker, team Todoroki and Yaoyorozu, practical exam. Ready, go. Dawn, Momo, it doesn't matter what it is, but creating small objects when you can't means it's close. He said, running through one of the city's alleyways. While Aizawa was on top of a light pole, the exam will depend on who finds the other first. When we see each other, he'll attract me, then he'll take the opportunity to escape. We'll stay together until then. Is something wrong? Type no. Dawn, I said something, but what is that? Type, Matroska dolls, she said as she put some on her waist. Dawn, I see. Tell me if you notice anything in your quirk, she said, continuing to run, while Momo followed her, creating objects. Type, you're good, Sahori. Dawn, because. Type, you quickly devised a plan to use against Aizawa-sensei and immediately determined what was best. Dawn, it's not unusual at all. Type, nothing unusual. He said, stopping, since we both got in through recommendations, we started in the same place. But as far as practical skills go, I have nothing special. In the cavalry battle, I only did what you told me to do. In my own battle, I lost before I even did anything. Dawn, Momo, your matrios. Type, Dawn, here it comes. Type, I'm sorry. Aizawa, if you notice it, act immediately. He said, hanging like Spider-Man from some power lines, trying to let go while Sahori attempted to use her quirk. In this case you should have spared me, since from now on with his quirk active. Dawn, Momo, go away, throwing a kick at Aizawa which he dodged. Aizawa, that was their plan. Watching as Momo left to catch Sahori with her bandages and hang her, then it's perfect. I was planning to catch you first because you'd be the offensive one. Tying the sail to the poster. Dawn, do you think I've got you? I can burn or freeze the ties. Aizawa, do what you want, but be careful when you fall. Throwing barbs. Dawn, spikes. Is he a ninja? That's a nasty method. Aizawa, unlike the hero killer, I know their quirks. I'm ready to intercept them. Your plan depends a lot on you. I appreciate your consideration for your friend, but perhaps you should have discussed it more. To go, Momo. Don't talk about it. Meanwhile, Momo kept running. Type how much longer until the exit? Is there a shorter route? Is Sori okay? Is this the right thing to do? Should I do something to go faster even if it takes time? Is this okay? Can I leave like this? Where do I run to? Why not? Is this plan okay? Aizawa he asked for a lot of trust since the sports festival. Following Momo. Type Professor Aizawa. So, Sahori. But then Aizawa throws his bandage to catch his left arm. No. Aizawa, I'll hit you where it hurts. Let's see who can take more, pulling Momo with her bandage. Type 1 don't stand a chance against a teacher. I can't erase my quirk, he thought. Creation. I scream to create something that frees her from the grip. I'm sorry, Sahori. Aizawa she goes to the other side. I leave the decision making to her. Comparing herself to her, she decided she's better than her. Seeing Todoroki who doesn't hesitate too much in any case, she lost confidence in her own reasoning. Emotionally she's still a 15-year-old girl. I'd like to help her regain her confidence, but it's not my job now going after Momo. Dawn, now that I think about it, it seemed like it wanted to tell me something. Type Dawn. Dawn, he said as he arrived. Dawn type. I'm sorry but. Dawn, hey, Aizawa-sensei is coming. Type should I save Sori? Run away. What do I do? What do I do? Dawn, Momo, you have a plan, right? I'm sorry, I should have asked if you were okay with it. You have an idea, don't you? Type your plan didn't work, so how could mine? Dawn, okay, just say it. You're the most suitable person for this. When we elected delegate, you got 2 votes, right? One was mine because I think you're good at it. Type shameful. How shameful? Aizawa, are they finished? Type but. Sahori, close your eyes. Throwing their Matryoshka dolls into the air. Aizawa, what is this? Kicking one open, revealing blinding grenades that stunned Aizawa. Type 1 have an idea, descending to Sahori, a special operation to defeat Aizawa-sensei. Dawn, a special operation? While Aizawa rubbed his eyes. Type 1 thought this from the beginning. Dawn, say it already. At that moment, Aizawa climbed onto a rooftop, feeling discomfort in his eyes, to attack the girls. Dawn, Momo, back, fire. But nothing happened. I'll delete it. Type Sahori, let's ignite. Starting to run, their eyes have a limit of 20 to 30 seconds. If we move out of their field of vision, it's just a matter of time before we can win. Dawn time. Even if we try to leave, we don't have our quirks. Type Do as I say. Turning onto a street, check if you can use your ice. Aizawa, I'll catch them. Throwing his bandage. Type it's wrong to think we can't use our quirks. There will definitely be a moment between when he blinks and when he sees us again, while Aizawa blinked. Dawn, there it is. Type you can do it right then, right? The sports festival wall, your best move. While Sori creates a great pillar of ice. Aizawa, they were waiting for this moment. Going backwards, you must hit your opponent where it hurts. Dawn, I blocked it with the wall as soon as my quirk returned. Now we can use it, igniting its fiery side. Tell me the rest of the plan. While watching Momo bandage her chest, Aizawa-sensei's weapon, tilting his head. Type 1 don't know how it's made, so it won't be the same. But I made my version with different materials. Since it's a residential area, we need to minimize damage, and it moves quickly with those restraints, so it's difficult to catch. This is my plan. What do you say, Sori? I think it has a better chance of success than trying to escape. Showing the catapult with bandages to Sai, it will be decided in a moment, okay. Dawn, 0 complaints. Aizawa, the escape route is behind me. It's better to watch them approach than try to chase them. Damn it. Then he sees 2 figures covered with sheets emerge from the ice. That's a problem, huh? If I can't see them, I can't erase their quirks, but it also has its disadvantages. Attacking them with their bandages, capturing them, but were the upper parts dolls. Type there's only one thing to do. She was kneeling, about to activate the catapult, but it failed. Aizawa, a catapult. Jumping back, Momo activates the catapult, a distraction, noticing the bandages around her. Type Sahori, use your flames. At that moment, Sahori unleashes a burst of fire. Aizawa, didn't you sign me up? What is this? Type 1 don't know if we can beat him in a quirk battle, that's why. Are you familiar with nitinol alloy? When heated, it returns to its original shape in an instant. It's a shape memory alloy. At that moment, the bandages wrapped around Aizawa. Aizawa awesome. Dawn, it went exactly as you planned, but wasn't it a little too good? Type I can't explain it. When I was about to fire the catapult, I made a mistake. The professor noticed, but even though he could have stopped me at that moment, it seemed he let himself be caught in my plan. Aizawa, I was just worried about Todoroki. I could see you, but the cloth covered him. I thought I'd freeze, so I backed away, thinking it was for the best, and fell into his arms. Dawn, like you said, it was just a matter of time. Thanks. Momo wanted to cry. What's wrong? Are you okay? Type it's no big deal. Dawn, you can safely go with. Type it's no big deal. Speaker Todoroki and Yaoyorozu's team approved. The fights continued, with most of them winning except for Kaminari and Mina, who lost. This went on until the final match. Izuku was walking towards where he was going to take his exam when he saw Bakugo, who looked at him with annoyance. Speaker Team Midoriya and Bakugo, practical exam ready, go. When I finished, Bakugo walked ahead without saying a word. Izuku, I should talk to him. Nah, he thought as he walked calmly towards the center. Bakugo, stop following me. Izuku, I'm walking downtown to help you, he said mockingly. Bakugo'll play with him, and when he's tired, I'll beat him. Izuku, don't cry when I defeat you, he said, before disappearing. Bakugo, damned. In the cameras. Recovery girl, oh, they can't work as a team, don't they know who they're up against? Dawn, if he knows, and that excites him, he thought as he saw Izuku on top of a building with a smile. In the city of the exam. All Might, okay, here I go. He said this before unleashing a great blast of air that destroyed most of the city where Bakugo was going. Izuku, that was dangerous, he said upon seeing shards of glass and rubble being stopped by infinity. All Might, what does it matter if we damage the city? Bakugo, what is this intimidation? All Might thought about it, stomped his foot, raising a gust of wind that forced him to take cover. All Might, where is your fellow hero? Bakugo, I don't need that blind man to beat you. All Might, if you consider this an exam, you'll regret it. I'm a villain, a hero. Come with all your might. Bakugo, big stunning All Might, go with all my might, All Might. Even if you didn't tell me, that's what I was going to do. All Might grabbed his face, and Bakugo tried to pull it off with his explosions. All Might, if you grab someone's face and try to pull your hand away reflexively, seriously, think about beating me, huh? He thought, slamming Bakugo against the ground with such weak consecutive blows they won't achieve anything. And where is your partner? Bakugo, I don't need it. He screamed to launch himself at All Might, but instead he slammed him to the ground again. Recovery girl, one wants to defeat All Might, and the other isn't doing anything for Izuku Midoriya, who is All Might. I don't know anything about the other boy, but judging by the sports festival and his grades, he must have great combat skills, he thought, looking at the Palea. Why is he in such a hurry? All Might, give up, you can't win, he said, watching as Bakugo got up and walked away. Bakugo, shut up. Winning means being a hero. Ethan All Might, at great speed, punched him in the stomach, making him spit blood. All Might, I know why you're upset, he said, approaching Bakugo as he stood up. It's because of young Midoriya. A level 1 power level won't improve at the same time, you'll waste your potential. Do you understand? Yes, right, you can still grow a lot. But I'm not talking about power. Bakugo, shut up, All Might. If I need help from that idiot, I'd rather lose. All Might, I see. Don't regret it, he said, preparing a coup. Bakugo, demons, he thought to take the blow head on, sending it crashing into a building. He has always been superior, Tomehei said, lying among the rubble inside the building, trying to remember all the times he tried to overcome it, but he never could. Izuku, you finally admit it, he said, leaning against a wall. Bakugo, damned, blind. Izuku, if you can move, get as far away as you can, I'll take care of it. He said he was going to leave the way he came in. Bakugo, but he is All Might. Izuku, so what? After all, I'm the strongest. All Might, the young Bakugo won't be able to get up, especially where the young Midoriya is, he thought, but then he heard footsteps coming from where Bakugo had thrown. Izuku, what an incredible display of power. All Might, young Midoriya. Izuku, but I want to see all its power. Forward rotation. Blue, he said that All Might's weights would be destroyed. In the cameras. Iida, why did he destroy them? Were they his advantage? Uraraka, he. Dawn, he will prove that he is the strongest. All Might, if that's what you want, young Midoriya. Texas Smash. I yelled to launch a powerful punch against Izuku, creating an incredible gust of wind that reached where a dying Bakugo was walking. Izuku, I had my doubts about whether I could withstand one of his blows, he said, to All Might's surprise, that he saw his fist just centimeters away from Izuku. But my infinity is greater. All Might infinite. He thought, but then he felt his arm being grabbed and punched twice in the stomach, making him spit blood. How fast? Izuku, there's more. I yelled to keep hitting All Might, then jump over him and kick him away. Reverse rotation, red glow. The explosion sent All Might crashing into several buildings. He managed to recover, but Izuku kicked him, sending him crashing into another building. All Might climbed a building to look for Izuku, but Izuku quickly pulled him down, grabbing his face and dragging him through the city. All Might quickly got away from Izuku to try and hit him, but Izuku appeared behind him and kicked him, sending him crashing into another building. Izuku, will he still be conscious? Heading towards where the symbol of peace is sent, worse at that. Speaker Team Midoriya and Bakugo approved. Izuku, aw, I was just starting to have fun, he said, beginning to leave the city. All Might, damn right. He defeated that thing, he said in his skeletal form while spitting blood, recalling the USJ report. Izuku walked to the exit to see how Bakugo was lying outside the exit. Izuku, hey, are you still alive? Poking it with a stick. The exams had ended, and the next day at the academy those who had failed were crying about not going to camp when the door opened for Aizawa. Aizawa, when the bell rings, everyone must sit down. By then everyone was already seated. Good morning. Unfortunately, some didn't pass the final exam. As for the camp in the forest, everyone will be going. Smiling in his own way. The failed a last-minute change. Kirishima, can we go too? Mine, oh really? Aizawa, if no one failed the written exam. However, in the practical exam Kirishima, Kaminari, Sato, Ashido, and Shiro failed. 0 damn, I didn't get enough points for winning. Aizawa, in these tests, we all made sure to give them a way to win while they studied how to deal with the situation. Otherwise, many would have lost before even starting. News, and when he said they would crush us. Aizawa, it was to scare them. The goal of the camp is to improve their skills. Those who failed will need it even more. It was a practical lie to make them work harder. He said, smiling in his own way. Failed a practical lie. Lita, I've been deceived again. It's typical of UA. This is the second time they've lied. We'll lose trust in you. Uraraka, don't be boring, Lita. Aizawa, I'll take that into account, but I didn't really lie. After all, a failure is a failure. Leaving the failures in shock, we prepared extra classes for the 5 of them. Depressing them, frankly they'll be worse than summer school classes. After classes. News, I'm glad we're all going. Lita, it will be a whole week of camping. Kirishima will have to bring a lot of things. Kaminari, I'm missing some things. Minutes, night vision goggles. Hagakuri, since we don't have classes tomorrow, why don't we go shopping together? Kaminari, that's a great idea. Kirishima, hey Bakugo, you should come. Bakugo, I have to go for a checkup, he said, wearing quite a few bandages. Izuku, will you go? I was telling the bicolor. Morning, I visit my mother during my breaks. Minutes, they're such party poopers. Izuku, I'll pass this time too. So the others went to the shopping mall where an accident happened with Kirishima and one of those who attacked UA, Tamura Shigaraki, thus temporarily closing the mall. The holidays had arrived and UA had given the students a couple of weeks off. A few days after the holidays. Location, Island. What? Get ready. Look who's talking. All Might. He said while holding the aforementioned by the neck. All Might, where does I get so much power from? He thought about spitting blood and screaming in pain because they had held his chest very tightly. Kirishima, All Might. She was running but stopped when she felt pain. Kirishima, said a worried blonde. Bakugo, curse. She screamed, while dodging metal pillars just like Sori, who protected herself with her ice. All Might, that power enhanced his muscles. He seems to have multiple quirks. He thought by chance. Wolfran, of course. While I was preparing this little act, 1 received a call from a man who said he wanted to work with me and help me. When I asked him why he was bothering me, he was happy to explain. If All Might's friend is involved in something bad, I could help in any way I can. I just regret not being able to see All Might's face when he finds out the truth about the professor. All Might all for one. Wolfran, what's wrong? You seem to have stopped smiling. All Might then tried to break free but was thrown back to be crushed by metal cubes so the academy students would worry about him. Goodbye forever, All Might. I screamed, about to pierce him with these metal blades, but all the metal was destroyed by a snap. Huh. Dawn, what happened? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I hadn't planned on going out tonight, but your great energy caught my attention. Exist it is. Minutes Midoriya. Seeing it as it was in the air. All Might, young Midoriya, withdraw, it's reckless. Izuku, I didn't come all the way from Japan just to watch. Wolfran, if that's what you want, then die, throwing metal pillars, but they never hit their target. Izuku, your increase is because of what you have on your mind, right? All Might said on one side. That's dangerous, so, lowering her bandage. Wolfran, die, attacking them, but the attack stopped. Izuku, domain extension. Infinite void, crossing two of her fingers to signal everyone to stop. All Might, what happened? Was it the villain? I can't see anything, I can't feel anything, it's not that. He could see everything, feel everything, but the information is incomplete. I can't do anything. I was thinking about that when I heard Izuku's voice. Izuku, they are within the infinite perception and transmission. They are obliged to do the same thing to live an infinite number of times. How ironic, isn't it? When you are given everything, you are incapable of doing anything but die in peace. But since I don't want problems, he told Wolfran to take a mechanism he had on his head and slam it against the ground to deactivate the domain. Izuku, well, whose is this? I asked, holding the device in my hand, one of my eyes uncovered. All Might, this is the strength of the strongest, this is on another level, even as a living being, he thought in amazement. Melissa, it's my father's invention. Izuku, well, tell your father that if he does this again, I'll destroy him, he said, crushing the machine with his hand. Melissa SC. Izuku, well, my work is done, I'm leaving. Disappearing. The boys were still surprised by what Izuku had shown, but Sahori snapped out of her surprise when she felt a coat cover her. She saw it was similar to the one Izuku wore, with a note that read, "You owe me one." The reason Sahori's shirt had been burned on one side by her fire. After the Island accident, the vacation days ended, returning to the academy, and with that, the start of camp. In UA, Aizawa, the first semester at UA is over, but those who want to be heroes won't get a break at this camp, they'll fight for the Plus Ultra. He was telling his class. Class, yes. All of Class A were talking amongst themselves, and I say all because someone was missing, and that someone was Izuku. Aizawa was checking if everyone was there when he noticed the absence of one of his students, but then he saw him appear with a backpack on his shoulder. Monomial, aren't they supposed to be better than Class B? How is that possible? Until he was knocked out by Kendo. Kendo, excuse me, dragging Monom. Izuku, huh, I've barely arrived and it's already pouring rain, he thought. Reiko. Monoma is scary. Hiroshima, Class B. Setsuna, we met them at the sports festival, it's good to see them, top class. She said as Yui nodded her head. Kendo, to the bus, he said as he climbed up with a knocked out Monoma. Class B, and he said as the students went upstairs. Iida, this is a Class A bus, please form a line for your seat. He said, moving his arms like a robot. On the way. Aizawa, attention, the bus will stop every hour after that, but he turned around when he saw everyone talking without paying attention, or others sleeping. Well, this will be the last time you can play. At a stop over a ravine, the bus stopped and the class got off. Kaminari, finally we can rest. Hiroshima, does this count as a rest area? Exist, I don't know. What about Class B? Aizawa, there would be no point in stopping here for no reason, confusing his students. Hello, Anthem. Aizawa, it's been a while since we last saw each other. He told two girls to get out of a car that was there. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I can see very well with these bright eyes. Sharply cute cat. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. We are wild pussycats, they said, taking a step, while a child watched them without emotion. Students. Aizawa, they are the heroines who will assist us, the pussycats. Don, who are? I whisper to Izuku. Izuku, I heard they were veterans specializing in rescue, but other than that I know nothing. Aizawa, now everyone say hello. The majority, it's a pleasure. Mandalay, we own all this land. You will stay at the foot of that mountain. Sealing a house in the middle of the forest. Most what? Uraraka, so why did we stop here? Suyu means we have. Sato, it's a joke. Zero, ha ha. Let's get back to the bus quickly now. Kaminari, if we go, while some nodded. Mandalay, guys, it's 9:30 now, you should arrive around noon. Kirishima, wait, listen. Manel, let's go back. Kirishima, get on the bus. Running away with most of them. Mandalay, those who do not arrive by 12:30 will not have lunch. Aizawa, sorry guys. The camp. Then Pixie Bob steps in front of it's already started. Pixie Bobo, using her quirk, lifted the boys with dirt to throw them into the forest. Mandalay, hey, this is private property, so you can use your quirks however you want. You have 3 hours. You must cross on your own 2 feet after crossing the beast's forest, it said above. Kirishima, the beast's forest. Kaminari, it looks like it came out of a video game. Exist, the UA always does those things. Kirishima, there's no point, we have to move on. So a beast emerged from the forest, frightening some, and Kota tried to calm it down, but failed. So the boys decided to act. Mandalay, it's a very tight schedule, Eraser. Aizawa, the plan we have for them is for them to acquire what they would learn in their 2nd year, so it will be complicated. A permit to use their quirks in emergencies, a provisional license to be heroes, they must learn to defend themselves against villains now that they are so active. Izuku, then he sent her downstairs, she said, with a Sahori by her side. Aizawa, yes, what are you doing here? Don, in short, the attack didn't affect him, so I took advantage. Izuku sent her downstairs. Aizawa, if you need this. Don, you wouldn't, he said, looking at Izuku, who was just smiling and suddenly appeared in the forest. Idiot. Aizawa, then I'm counting on you, Pixie Bob. Pixie Bob, ah, let me do it. I've got goosebumps. As Aizawa was leaving on the bus, what he didn't notice was that Izuku had sneaked on. Almost 5 hours later at the house. Pixie Bob, they have finally arrived. Mandalay, it took them a long time, then the students emerged from the forest in the last. 0, they said 3 hours. Mandalay, that's what it would have taken us. Sato, did they perhaps want to show off how good they are? Kirishima, I'm starving. Pixie Bob, ha ha ha, honestly I thought it would take longer. It wasn't that hard to defeat my earth beasts. You did excellently, especially the 3 of you. You acted without hesitation because of your experience. Lip licking good, I want to see them in 3 years, they are my property. Launching himself against Bakugo, Kirishima and Lita. Aizawa, Mandalay, she was always like that. Mandalay, she's desperate because she's of an age too. Izuku, old age, he said, getting off the bus. Pixie Bob, what did you say? She lunged at Izuku, but she crashed and fell to the ground. What happened? Aizawa, where were you? Izuku, on the bus. The class, what? Don, damn traitor, she thought, annoyed. Aizawa, that's enough. Go get your things, take everything to your rooms, we'll have dinner, you'll shower and go to sleep. We'll start formally tomorrow. Come on, hurry up. After a meal, where most were eating like animals, it was time for the hot springs. Everyone was enjoying themselves. Minutes, hey, isn't Midoriya missing? Kirishima, they're right. 0, maybe he won't come. Unlike us, he didn't get dirty, he said, but then the door opened and Izuku entered. Izuku, sorry for the delay. Minutes, Midoriya Astos Mamadisimo. The boys were surprised by their classmates' physique, even Bakugo was shocked. Meanwhile, the girls thought they were exaggerating, but one of them was practically on fire. At night everyone was already asleep except for a bicolored girl who was imagining her friend when she received a message that caused a nosebleed. Izuku. You like it? Don, stupid and sexy Midoriya, he thought, blushing, as he wiped the blood from his nose. To be continued. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and now we will see you in the next video.